Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Monsieur. I thought I'd come and say hello to wish you a good day. I'm sorry, it's a little bit difficult because I'm fasting. I've been fasting, and so my mouth is very dry, and I'm like I feel like I have this excess of oxygen, so my head is buzzing. It's like, but then I'm going through the process when my inner presence will tell me it's okay to eat or okay to drink. I will do that. For now, it's so. I wanted to say that I'm going to pull a few cards, but I feel very small in relationship to God because when we want to align with our God self, but then we are confronted with the infinite perception. For we can never, we will always be limitation. Limitations are good, but we want to push our limitation. But certain limitations are necessary. Only God does not have any limitation, and God knows our weakness and our strength, so He will work with us and will not give us more challenge than we can actually. It will not give us challenge that we're not capable of overcoming. Yet I recognize my lucidity, my compassion, and my courage in relationship to God is so small, it's minuscule, and so for. But then again, it grows a bit every day. We have to work with our inner self. In the past, when we were working through the ego self, for the ego self is soul master aboard. It means it does whatever it wants, and then it bumps against obstacles or challenges or suffering or whatever as lessons. But he does not answer to anybody except himself. But as we submit to the inner self, the inner guidance, we are meant to align slowly but surely our will to a higher form of intelligence that is more and the highest wisdom to understand is to know that we do not know. It is the beginning of knowledge. For there are certain things we know, but if we want to know more, we have to recognize that we do not know, so something else can come and fill up our cup. I was talking about soulmate and soul twins and soul plans. For we made agreement when we came down here, but there is once again there is free will, and sometimes people we came in with soul plans and they choose something else. They do not listen. They're stubborn, or they just move into their own desire. Yet the soul will get usually what it wants, but sometimes we have to remain flexible. Sometimes we align to sometimes we feel like we meet somebody that could be our soulmate, but the person does not reciprocate. That means it's just a catalyst to awaken to certain connection to higher love without having to become a relationship. And other situations. It is sometimes we make a plan, but the person. So we have to be flexible in our plans. If we're waiting for somebody and the person didn't wait for us, and the person's not available when we come together. Yet when two people are working in this inner alignment, at some point the energy come together, and it is magical when we're ready. Just thought I comment. I bounce back on that which I was talking about yesterday. If you talking about these soulmates and soul twin, so we have to trust the process as much as possible, and understanding that our God self, our soul, the time conscious, but past, present, and future is exactly the same thing. In 1 hour from now, in 1 day, in 1 month, in 1 year, in 10 years, it's exactly the same thing. It is one now. It is all in the here and now. For everything is in the here and now. Even when we'll learn to travel in the future or travel back into the past, we'll still be in the here and now. It's just we'll move into parallel realities that are potential future, or that is a conception of what our timeline was in this past. Yet the timeline will always always happen, but we can move into a parallel timeline in the past, where we can re-encounter everything that we met in the past. So we will learn to become intertemporal and interdimensional being, where we'll no longer, in the here and now, we'll no longer be limited at this one-time cells that is the collective evolution of humanity. So it is all the same here and now. So it is all about, for we've always lived in the here and now. There will never be another place, no matter what we encounter. It's like non-existence. We'll never understand non-existence. As soon as we think of something, it exists because we make it real. Even if we think it's not real, it's like, imagine, I tell you not to imagine an elephant in the room. You have no choice. The elephant was there for a moment. the universe does not know a negation. In hypnosis, we don't use negation because everything is being taken as whatever imagination becomes, and eventually, sooner or later, a lot of what our imagination will come down into this third dimension. So the past, present, and future. The past is authenticity. We have to make ourselves true. The present is triumph, and the future is action. So once we will be able to fully experience the triumph, we're going to be able to move into the right action, move into this action. What we're working on right now is serenity. It's about being serene, about being detached as much as possible, to breathe and to live in the present. Serenity. We want to be lucid and serene. We want to be and there is always space for more lucidity and more serenity. And then the outcome will be reconciliation. So we're going to be able to reconciliate ourselves with ourselves and with others. We'll find the harmonious point of connection when we'll be able to resolve many of the things that used to be difficult in the past. So I wanted to express my gratitude because I'm being guided with patience, although it's been really, really hard. It's one of the most difficult period of my life. So we do not want to be too distracted. There is all kinds of things that come in our way to distract us. The universe they will put certain things that are not for our highest good. So we want to be able to lose our comfort zone for a time in order to move, to do little things or big things. Every day we need to do little things or big things for our ascension. And that implies that we need some time to move out of our comfort zone, like fasting. It's not pleasant at all this morning. I wasn't feeling like fasting, but spirits was pretty insistent. So far I'm doing it. I was looking back at some of my videos. One video I was looking at the most popular of them. It's not that bad actually, but I wanted to look back at this. A very important aspect to understand is that we want to be hybridized with our soul, with our spirit, with our Arcturian parts, with our Sirian parts, with the Pleiadian part, the 9-dimensional beings of the higher council. We want how much of an hybrid can we take? How much of this higher energy is appropriate to bring down in our consciousness? How much are we willing to integrate? How much are we? Because eventually we'll become unified consciousness, but for now we need to integrate the 9-dimensional energy, which is where the divine plan is aligning with the soul plan on the 8th dimension. So we want to bring down this energy. And how much can we? How much of this energy can we integrate within ourselves? Because that will definitely assist us. For all comes from God. All comes from the One in an event. So it was like this at the beginning, and it will be like this at the end. But for now, we need to. It is good to see yourself as a hybrid, like you hybrided with all kinds of higher frequency and angelic and super angelic and galactic forms. So it's all personal. It's all about choice and free will. Our service is to anchor all those energy once we integrate within ourselves, to keep the portal open. We integrate it into the earth, but it's really, really difficult because this world is very heavy, very polarized, and so we can't always be. We want to be always in a receptive mode, but we want to find. We want to breathe enough to be solid, to have energy, to be solid enough to repulse all negative energy, to become impermeable to negative energy, so it doesn't even bounce on us, it doesn't come in, so we don't react to negativity. We bring lucidity and love to light to anybody who could generate anger. Rather than become angry, we just send this loving and lighting to the person, which will enlighten the person and will can use word kindly in an event. We all have a point of vulnerability, what's most vulnerable, and from a symbolic perspective, it is the story of Achilles. Achilles was a hero, and from the Greece we send greetings. His mother was Thetis, and Pele was at their wedding that the apple of discord was was introduced, and so we all have this, and it's Achilles' heel is because our mother was guided to go and dip him into the Styx, which was it's the river that could protect him. He was the most fearless warrior, and he was completely invulnerable. But she was holding him by the heel, not even the heel, but the tendon, just and so. So because she was, this was the one part that wasn't dipped into the stick, and at the end he died because I think it was Apollon that killed him. Although Apollon told his mother that he would have a great and beautiful and long life, at the end he ended up killing him. I think it was, which they transcended, they ascended in form. Death does not exist, but in the story, and so the arrow was through the heel. And so we all have this vulnerable point, and this is really what we need to work on, to be conscious of it, not to be in denial of our Achilles heel, for this is really what makes us vulnerable. And so this is about, once this is done, we'll be solidly anchored into our own empowered energy. So we cannot fight evil directly. The darkness, it doesn't work. You don't fight it directly. But the only way to fight it is to make an energetic step in the good. So whether it is small step or big step, we want to move progressively towards what we know is good for us, as much as possible. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. For one more card. Actually, I always took this one, so we'll take the 4 of Gabriel. After the effort, the recomfort. You are harvesting the fruits of your labor. Get rid of the situation that are oppressing you. So it's all about love and beautiful romance and completion and freedom and abundance and luxury and joy. And so it is very much a card of completion today. So let us pray for that to fully manifest. And the painting behind me is a painting about self-empowerment. It's a spiral. It's in English. It says, "I am one. I am part of the one that is all. I am light, love, and the ever-expanding universe." For all those things, it's like a decree. It's like I want to become one with the universe. But if I am facing with the totality of the energy of the universe, I know God has to qualify me before it opens up to any level, because it's like the universe is so much, there's so much in the universe. So I do want to stay focused on this higher line of that which is my highest good and most comfortable path of ascension. And then it goes into all kinds of empowerment. It always starts with I am. When you say I am, you qualified something and you put something positive behind. So it says I am, and then eventually it says I love. And so, and then at the end it's more like material. But what's interesting about this painting, I did one in French too, which is not a spiral, but is that there is many colors on the writing, but at the end the final quote is one letter is gold, the other one is silver, and then there is one gold, one silver, one gold, one silver, one gold, one silver. And those metallic colors, they have a property that when you turn around, when you move around the painting, the light catches differently. So it feels like the painting is completely changing as you move from one side of painting to the other, or at different time of the day. They have a completely different energy, so it's kind of interesting. I'm going to try to sing a song. I tried to sing it in French, but with my fasting, it's not easy. It's an old song. I didn't want to. I thought it wasn't spiritual, so I wasn't going to sing it. But last night it came through my mind a few times. So I probably will if I don't make it. Well, hopefully I'm going to be singing it. Okay, let's see. There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruins of many a poor boy, and me, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor, she sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only thing a gambler needs, it's a suitcase and a trunk. And the only time he's satisfied is when he's all drunk. My mother, tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your life in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun. I got one foot on the platform, the other on the train, and I'm going back to New Orleans to wear that ball and chain. There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and me, I know I'm one. Well, thank you for sticking till the end. Last night I was like, when it came to my mind, I was forced to sing that song, but today I was like, with this fast, it's like much more difficult. Anyway, thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful Sunday. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.